What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Day Drink Discussions.
The day drink.
The Day Drink. In this one, we are going to recap 2020, the best things that happened either because of COVID or during COVID. Because we understand that this has been a very trying time to a lot of people. People have lost lives. You might have lost your grandma. But just know that there are positive things happening in this world. I understand that this has been a hard year for man. Fuck that motivational music, man. Shit's been hard. Shit's been tough. I
Dude, when
understand,
you
but
in
we
that
do want to.
motivational music,
You
I
said
was
what?
ready to flip off. I was like, what the fuck is he doing? He hates videos with motivational music.
But no, on the real note, we it has been hard for everyone. Rather it's been financial loss, rather it's been anxiety, whatever the fuck it is, loss of family. So we just want to recap 10 of the best things that came from COVID, and if you would want to do the same, whether it's a reaction video, you just want to do your own video, tag us in it, that would be fucking amazing.
Sounds good, bro. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with my number 10. So for me, just gained a kind of a newfound perspective on how fragile this shit is that we call life, and not just like loss of life, but our lifestyle. Getting used to this new normal, this new mode of operation. Um, it's just kind of giving me a new perspective on what we could consider to be regular and normal can so easily be taken away without any warning. Just one day we wake up and it's normal, and next day it's not. That's kind of giving me a new perspective on that.
So what's your number 10? Like what like just a new perspective?
Yeah, just having a new perspective, and
Bet
not taking things for granted. Because
bet
what I
bet
had back in February is taken away. I mean, for all of us, and like,
exactly.
can't take things for granted. Enjoy the moment while you have it, because it could be different tomorrow.
Hell yeah, I fucks with that. That's I actually on my list, but my number 10 is skateboarding, and that's not something that came because of COVID, but more so I skated as a teenager religiously, stopped, and then started skating again with the homies probably around 23 or 24, and stopped again. And when COVID hit, started skateboarding again. Brushy, who I moved in with, he was like, "Hey, I want to start skating again." I was like, "Let's start skating." So we did, and then he ended up building a rail from scratch. So we skated for about 2 or 3 months, and then fell off again. But it was something. It was like that was a good thing.
Yeah, I saw some of your skate videos earlier during quarantine, and that was really cool seeing you get back into like an old hobby and starting that back up.
Hell yeah.
My number 9, and it's not a direct result of COVID. Like COVID didn't cause it, but one thing COVID did for all of us was give us more time at home. And how we've been as busy as we wanted to be this year with travel and other things that we had planned. I probably wouldn't have gotten my new dog, who I love. And also we're raising chickens now. So like how we've been as busy as we wanted to be during the summer, I would have rejected those opportunities and turned them down, even if they had presented themselves. So not being as busy, being at home, having time to commit to these things is really cool. Getting to do that because I've never had a dog that's like my own. Because Chewy is definitely Wendy's dog.
Right.
He looks at me. He's like, "You're the motherfucker that feeds me." That's about it. But
did
he
y'all get two?
loves. So what?
Did y'all get Chewy together?
Yeah. So Chewy was a rescue. Her brother found him on the side of the road um, while patrolling on his shift. Brought him home. Took him to a vet. He had microchip. The lady was like, "I didn't like the dog. He's a piece of shit. Put him on the side of the road. Y'all can keep him." Um,
Damn,
yeah,
Chewy.
yeah. I'll tell you the full story later when we have more time. But yeah, they did that to Chewy, like the sweetest dog.
Wow,
But he
wow.
just really latched on to Wendy. He likes me and all, but um, yeah, he's definitely her dog. So having a dog that's like my dog that wants to be around me, like primarily, that feels really good. I haven't had that in a very long time since like we were kids. And then also the chickens are like fucking fun. Started getting eggs on Sunday, so when I got home Sunday from Christmas, we had 3 eggs, and I talked to Wendy tonight, and we have 2 more. So we have at least one mature hen that's laying eggs a few times a week, and the other ones should start laying eggs within the next month and a half to 2 months.
You're breaking. I think you're good now. You broke up at the last end of it, but
Gotcha.
basically
Yeah,
you just became, huh?
I was just saying the other 3 hens should be mature enough to lay eggs within the next month and a half to 2 months. So that's
So
been a cool
basically,
process.
basically just became more. You invested in your roots of a country boy. You got a man's best friend that you feel is actually yours and that you've latched onto, and vice versa. And you got fucking chickens that you originally wanted meat from, but it's like, I don't know if I can do that again. But now we got eggs, so it's still country boy shit.
Yeah, and for the hens, we always want eggs. I was never gonna slaughter the
Mm-hmm.
chickens for them. It's for the roosters, but they're not meat birds, so they're just really skinny. It was not worth taking their lives
Right.
just to get skinny legs.
Right. Peter, don't come at us. All right, my number nine also. Most of these, honestly, I'll say the first half isn't going to be a direct result of COVID. This kind of has to do with COVID, but not on my end. Is talking on the phone. I've been talking on the phone a lot, and some one person is that doesn't have a job, another person they're working from home, call center shit. So they can talk on the phone in between calls and shit. But if they were at work, then that wouldn't be able to happen. So number nine with me is talking on the phones is something that I love to do, but didn't do it as much before COVID. So that's cool shit.
Yeah, I mean it's good to stay connected. I have not for the next few numbers, but I have a few about being more connected to people. My next
Hell
one
yeah.
has nothing to do with COVID, but it happened during this year, and it's been beneficial to me. Back in August, I experienced the worst physical pain, other than breaking my leg when I was a teenager, but worst physical pain I can ever remember. It sucked. Um, Woke up on August the 5th. Don't know why, but I had a crook in my neck. It didn't go away. August the 16th, I went to like urgent care, which I don't go to doctors. I don't like doctors. I don't trust doctors. I don't go to them. But I was in so much pain. I was like, muscle relaxers might get me through. So let me go in there, state my case, get some pills, and maybe I can make it through till it stops hurting. August 18th, I was in so much pain at work. I left work, went to the chiropractor. They started me on my progression for healing my neck and shoulders, which is what was bothering me. And I feel great now. And why I count that as being such a beneficial thing is I'm starting to look at my physical health in such a different way, starting at the first of the year and probably after today, once I get back home out of this hotel away from home. I'm gonna start on a mostly vegetarian diet, try to lower some inflammation out of my body, lose a little bit more weight, take a little bit more stress off my skeletal system, and just be healthier again. Also, I think that's going to play towards mental health because when the body feels better, the mind operates better. So that experience made me wake up and say, "Look, dude, you are getting older. You can't treat your body as poorly as you used to. You should take better care of yourself." So although it sucked and it still sucks going through pain, it kind of woke me up a little bit.
That's what's weird about this kind of about this COVID shit, but health anyways, it's like we are getting older, like I'm 30, you're 34, like it's weird shit and it's like yeah, 30 seemed like forever away when I was 15, but we're going to be 40 soon and then 50, like that shit's coming. It's going to come at a blink of an eye. So, yeah, definitely physical health, mental health, whatever, whatever you're going through, like you're only gonna get older and it's only gonna get worse. So if you
Yeah,
take care of it, then it's not gonna be near as bad. You know, it can be a beautiful thing. You can be like fucking I can't even think of his name, but that black bald headed dude that runs like fucking a marathon every day. I don't know. He Rogan always shouts him out, but yeah, you know, you can be in great health, but if you don't take care of your body, who knows what's gonna happen? So number 8 is a great segue. Is for me is working out. This is actually a direct impact of COVID. Now I'll say this: I worked out for about 3 months, got to a weight I have never been at before. My weight fluctuates between like 120, 122. I was working out, eating steaks every day, eating broccoli and greens every day, eating rice, eating fried eggs, like just fucking doing it. And I was eating, not eating, but drinking mass gainer. And I got up to 134, which is the most I've ever weighed was 130 when I was 18. But yeah, and that was a direct impact of it, not because of me, but in March when shit started shutting down, and then in April when shit started, it was like, okay, this shit is serious. I was seeing everyone on Instagram and just hearing all these stories of how people don't have jobs. You know, like restaurant workers that are my friends and shit, like they don't have jobs and they were picking up new shit. So I was like, let me pick something up. And I started working out. At first, I started by doing yoga for about 2 weeks in the mornings. And then that kind of faded out. But I was like, no, let me work out. So I really got on that shit and faded off at, you know, about 3 months. And then with you, got back into it with you, did it for about a month and a half, and I stopped again. But it gave me faith because I'm like, I can't gain weight. But it gave me faith that if I eat right and do the mass gainer on top of it, not as a replacement meal, but just do it on top of it, I can gain weight. So that's something that happened directly from COVID that didn't affect me because I was still going to work there every day. But I took the energy of other people and was like, just imagine if you didn't have a job, how bored you would be. It would be, oh, I almost said something bad. It's, it wouldn't be compared to being in jail, but you're in jail, you ain't got shit to do. What are you gonna do? You're gonna read, you're gonna work out. So that's why I just looked at it as if I didn't have a job and I can barely even go to the fucking grocery store. Let me work out. So I just put the mindset of I don't have a job, I'm bored as fuck, let me work out. So working out's my number 8.
My number 7. So number 8 was physical health for both of us. My number 7 is mental health. So dealt with depression pretty much whole life, and only been in counseling before this year once prior, and that's when I went through my divorce back when I was like 22, 23. And that was my first time in counseling. Loved it. Didn't see a need for it for a long time, but my method of coping is just kind of stuffing the emotions down and then finding like a vice, whether it be drinking or anything else, to kind of just numb it out, just to kind of overshadow the pain. Um, COVID kind of exaggerated things a little bit because, in a way, we were kind of under house arrest. Like the people that were able to go to work, I go to work, but then I come right back home. I don't go anywhere else. And when I'm off on the weekends, I only stay at home because all recommendations are like, don't go out, stay at home, be safe, stop the spread. So that just amplified the depression I was feeling. And this summer I started counseling and was able to get tools to be able to cope with life, and they were very effective. And I feel like I'm in the best place I've been in many years. I'm planning on keeping that as like an ongoing thing. Counseling's not cheap, so just money kind of ran thin. But next year I plan on doing it for 3 to 6 months, and I plan on that being my regimen and cycle every year. Every year, jump in for 3 to 6 months, do it, do a recap. If there's any new trauma, touch on it. If it's not and life is good, just get more tools and just kind of recap what my counselor, as long as I can keep the same one so he understands my history and I don't have to re-explain myself to somebody. But that's my number 7 is working on mental health.
Shit's never been sweet for black people, but I feel like this is kind of the sweetest time that we've ever seen because in black households, rather you're poor or rather you're rich and wealthy, like in black households, um, mental health is it's looked at as weak. You know, it always has been. Like, stop crying, man. Like, I'll give you something to cry about. You know, like you can't go talk to your brother or your dad. But now in these days, it's not looked on as weak, and I'm glad because you can actually go seek help and not look like a bozo.
Yep.
So my number seven has nothing to do with COVID. Actually, it kind of does. It's buying stock. I got interested in stock, and I was like, you know what? Let me research because I've researched it before and it confused me. I researched it again and it confused me even more. But I was like, fuck it. Let me go in. Let me do it. So I bought some stock. I bought so far I bought $75 worth of Vetsy. I paid for 39th of a share when they were at like $120 per share, and I paid 50. And now they're up to like $180 per share. So I went ahead and put another 25 in. And something I just did, I think 2 days ago. I could be a dumbass. I didn't do any research on it, but I looked at Live Nation and theirs was $75 a stock, so I went ahead and put 50 in it. Cause I'm like, concerts are eventually gonna be back and that stock is gonna rise. So why not buy it low and sell high? So yeah, I just been getting into stock trading. I stopped doing the research because it's way too confusing, and I could be a guru at it eventually, but I don't want to get there. I just want to see some extra cash.
Yeah, I think with stock, it's what's the word I was looking for? Like it's definitely a gamble because you never know what markets are gonna do. But you can look at the history of markets, history of companies, and it's an educated gamble. Like if you do sports gambling, you don't know what the fuck that team or that athlete's gonna do on that given day. But you can look at stocks and you can reasonably say, okay, it's down right now because concerts aren't happening. Eventually, concerts will come back. Like live music's not gone forever. Live Nation's so big, they're probably not gonna fail. So yeah, you're that's a measured risk. So that's what I was looking for. Measured. That's definitely a measured risk. That okay, they will eventually pick up steam and they will grow their business again, which is going
And
to
that's
increase the stock.
and that shit's gonna boom, in my opinion, because people have been without concerts for so long that fucking uh someone that couldn't sell out an arena is gonna be able to sell out an arena just because they want to go. It's like I just want to go to a fucking concert. So I feel like their stock's gonna rise, and I'm gonna have two or three shares in it. And when I feel like it's time to sell it, be like, all right, I made my money. I bought it when it was at $75, but now it's at $400. And I could be 100% wrong. It's a gamble. But that's it popped in my mind because I've been thinking of things. Because I fucked up on the vaccine that was talked about months previous, and now that stock is fucking high. I fucked up on Spotify because their stock wasn't that high. Joe Rogan moves to it, blows up. So I'm like, what is something that is not high right now, but I can see it blowing up? Fuck movie theaters because we don't know if those are ever coming back because we realize that we don't even fucking need them. Even though it is an American pastime, we don't need them. But concerts, no, people are tired of this concert from home bullshit. Like, we want to be there. So I took the risk, but go on with your number six.
Number six is being more creative. So again, I think it's an indirect result from just having more time. But I found myself drawing a little bit more. Did a couple of paintings this summer, and also I've been playing music a little bit more too. Music not as much as I would like, but I'm dedicating more time to it. And one thing I plan on doing in 2021, I'm going to keep it kind of on the download right now because I haven't fully fleshed out what I want to do with music. But I do plan on publishing some music next year. So probably late summer to early fall, I'll be releasing some stuff. And that feels good again. One thing I read in like a blog or maybe heard on an interview was that with creative people, depression often kicks in when you're not using your creativity. And I was like, you know what? I've been playing music since I was about 15. Happiest I've ever been is the bands that I was in. One, because of the community and brotherhood. I really enjoy that. But also, I'm this creative juice that's building up and causing all this energy. I'm releasing it. I think it's kind of like a river and a dam. Like, if the dam is too tight, the river overflows, fucks things up. Um, if it's too open, it doesn't really make an impact. But when it's just right, you're building up enough creative energy and releasing just enough. That's when it's the most effective. So,
Orgasmic.
oh shit, whoosh,
got gotta release that the right time.
whoosh.
All right. Well, you're not my teacher, but you have taught me in a lot of things in many ways. So, and it's also not the morning, but it's the only one that I feel like I've kind of perfected. So, Sensei Ohio gozaimasu. Started learning Japanese on these bitches and they ain't ready because I'm telling you, in 2022, I'm gonna get me a Japanese bitch and I'm be able to talk all the shit I want to in her language. So I'm gonna end it like that. That's my number six.
Hell yeah, man. You're gonna have that NECA on your lap.
Hey man, that neck is gonna be on my lap. I can't even think of its neck. Neko. I think it's Neko.
Yeah, I have no idea. I never learned how to say cat. No,
Yeah,
yeah, it is Neko. Yeah,
yeah,
uh, yeah, because we have a cat stance in karate, so Nekodachi.
yeah,
Yeah.
Neko.
So my number five is just choosing to be more festive this time during the holiday season. I wouldn't say I'm a Scrooge or a Grinch, but I don't get very excited for the holidays. To me, it's just another time of the year. Um, I did when I was a
Stressful.
kid, but I think as a kid, most people get excited about the holidays. It's weird to see like a 12-year-old Grinch. But as I got older, man, like the magic of the holidays just isn't really there like it used to be. But I learned this year that it's not there like it used to be because I choose not to engage in it. But I told Wendy, I was like, you know what? This year's been tough. Um, I want to experience more joy during the holidays. I want to help you decorate. I want to go out and choose my own decorations that we can hang up, and let's just have a lot of fun. And for Halloween, we did a good bit. We put a good bit of stuff out. She did a little bit of fall decorating. I didn't really do much with that. And then for Christmas, I've been on the road a lot with my employment, but as much as I was home, I helped her decorate, and that was a lot of fun, dude. Typically, I'm a guy that's like, hey, I just want you in my life for Christmas. I don't need a gift, and I don't really want to give one. But this year, I got creative with the gifts I gave her. She gave me some really nice gifts, and it sounds simple, but it was a lot of fun. So I'm just glad that I chose to be more festive. I think it was a good a good bow for the end of the year to kind of wrap things up in a nice way. And we're
That's
starting a new
good.
tradition for New Year's. We have two Christmas trees, one 9 foot, one 6 foot, and we're gonna have a bonfire for New Year's. So starting a new tradition of doing that. Just some more country boy shit.
Yeah, hell yeah. I also wouldn't say I'm a Grinch. I don't hate the holidays, but I don't like to partake in them. Besides family, and that'll come up later in my list. But my number five is my nostril piercings. You might be asking yourself, how is this connected to COVID? I will tell you.
I'm asking myself that right now.
I'm going to tell you right now because at work we are required to wear a mask. So I was like, if I get nostril piercings, they will not see my nostril piercings. So I can have two new piercings because I already had three. So if I have a mask on, they're not gonna see the two extra that I got. So if it wasn't for COVID, I probably wouldn't have taken that leap because I've always been afraid of what if I get these nostril piercings and they they tell me I need to take them out. No one can see them. So that is how it connects directly and I love piercings So that was amazing. And then I got my bridge pierced, and only reason I did that is because my supervisor said, "Why the fuck would they say anything? You already got fucking five of them."
Right.
But
You're a TSA nightmare, man. You go fly on a plane, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
exactly. But I'm also gonna get three dermals, one, two, three, in a little crescent moon shape. But yeah. So that would not have happened. I can tell you right now because I've wanted these for a couple of years, and the only reason I haven't done it is because of my job. But since we started being able to wear a mask, no one saw them unless I showed them.
Noise.
Numero
And for me,
cuatro.
Quattro is restarting this motherfucking podcast.
Hey, turn up
Hey,
on these
off
bitches
the
one
beaten
time.
path.
Turn up
Oh
on
man,
them.
this shit's been fun. So I started up for the first time last year, last fall sometime. Um, and then going through winter, man, like I'm not a cold weather guy. I'm not an indoors person guy. We had very rainy and cold winter in Charleston, and just that depression crept in and it just kicked way high, and I just lost all motivation to continue doing the podcast because we've talked about this in private time. I kept saying, Nate, do the podcast with me. Hey, Nate, let's do a podcast. We'd be great as a duo. And you're like, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. And you'd watch it, you'd critique. You'd be, hey, if you do this, it might be better. Hey, steer away from that. It might be better. And then finally you jump on, and I lose all fucking motivation. And you're like, dude, you finally talked me into it, and you don't want to do it anymore. I'm like, no, I'm done. And
and
then during
and
quarantine,
and to your credit, before you get on the quarantine when we started it back, there was a couple of missteps where it's like our schedules didn't line up like we thought they were, so we lost a guest, and then we had a guest and he never came on. So your motivation dying down and me kind of being like frustrated about that, like it just fucking plummeted.
yeah, it went from like, oh man, this thing could be really cool to, oh, this thing no longer exists.
Yeah.
And then during quarantine, you were like, hey man, we're gonna restart the podcast, and it took a while for you to talk me into it. We finally work out a schedule and say, hey Nate, on this date, I will commit to starting.
And
And
I
then
was on your
on like that Thursday before the Saturday, you're like, bruh, don't quit on me, please, and you're gonna hate me. But I can't be on this episode. And I was like,
I'm going to
fuck
Six
you, man.
Flags.
I'm going to Six Flags. I'm like, dude, it's COVID. You're like, yeah, but I live in Georgia. We didn't close down. But no, man, restarting this podcast, I feel like it's given me and you a closeness that we've probably never had. I don't think I've ever talked to you quite this much. And not that we were distant. We talked on regular, but we talk every week now, multiple times. Um, and getting to talk to the guests that we've had on. My motivation for talking to these people is I love creative people. And we've had some amazingly creative talent on the podcast. So, y'all that are watching at this point, if you've been on, thank you so much. If you're watching and you want to be on in the future, hit us up. If you have hit us up, just stay in contact. If you're scheduled, I can't wait to have you on. We love doing this every week. Thank you guys so much. And
Icky
for everybody
Vicky
that
sideshow.
subscribes and fucking interacts with us on social media, you just give us even more energy. So thank you guys so much.
100%. I have to agree with that. 100%. Yeah. Thank y'all. Thank everyone. Thank everyone who's subscribed, who's listened, who's liked our videos, who's commented, who's been on. Everyone, like, appreciate it because this is the beginning and we're gonna take off. But my number 4 is sneaker reselling, and that came kind of directly from COVID because it was the same kind of thing with the working out shit. Like, I was like, all these people are coming up with new shit. They're creating their own Pinterest, creating their own Etsy's and shit. Let me do something for myself. So I just thought for a second. I was like, I buy shoes off of StockX, and to my sneaker resellers, y'all understand what I'm talking about. But I buy sneakers off of StockX, and I'm paying these high ass fees and shit. But people are making money off of me. What if I start being the person that I'm making the money? So I bought me a laptop. Haven't had a laptop in like 5 or 6 years. So bought me a laptop and started sneaker reselling. And I've taken some L's, but I've gotten some pretty ass dubs, and I see the future that it holds, and I'll get there one day. I'm not there yet, but all these sneaker bots that y'all be bitching about, I'm about to be that person with a sneaker bot. So watch out. I'ma steal your sneakers. You ain't gonna be able to get them. I'ma get 10 pairs. I'ma sell all those bitches.
Nate's gonna be that sneaker robot. Oh shit.
Hey, let's go back in the past real quick. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto Domo. So yeah, we'll speak Japanese while I'm still in them. But yeah, that's my number four.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I've been inspired by your sneaker reselling. I did a couple of types of reselling. So I tried eBay, didn't like it. Didn't break into the Amazon game because I didn't have the capital to have enough inventory to make it worth my time. But one thing I did was I took the Gary V approach. So thank you, Vaynerchuk. What I was doing was finding free or cheap furniture items on Facebook and Craigslist and just selling those, taking the same shit, no repairs, no refurbishing, and selling it for more than what I paid for it. My first big hit that really got me excited was like that old desk. And man, this desk was so nice. I almost wish I would have kept it because it's so much nicer than the desk I have. We got this old desk for $0. He said, "I'm tired of it. Moved into a new house. It doesn't have adequate space. If you respond, the desk is yours." And I sold that bitch for $100. Um, but that kind of died down. I tried eBay and I didn't care for it. I didn't have the patience to let things sell. So I was really inspired by you're doing some eBay sneaker reselling. Not to the point where I want to get back into it, but it's cool to see you having success with it.
I mean, shit. Like I said, I took some L's. I put something on eBay, and next day wake up to a notification that it sold. I got like 5 things on eBay right now that are just sitting there for about 3 months. Ain't sold them, but they're gonna get sold eventually because people are gonna be like, "Damn, I really wanted this. Maybe the prices went down, and they ain't gonna see anyone selling them anymore. They're gonna come to me. It's gonna pop up when they search it, and they're gonna be like, fuck, price didn't go down, but shit, I'll still buy it." So yeah, I just let them sit there. I don't pay attention to that shit.
Yeah, one thing I heard from the bearded picker on Amazon reselling, he said reselling on the internet is takes on Ricky Bobby rules. Either you're the first one to have it, first one to post it, and your prices are good, or you have to be really patient and allow yourself to be last. Because eventually everybody else's inventory is gonna run out, and then you get to name the price. So either be
Exactly.
first or allow yourself to be last and don't drop your prices. Um,
Exactly.
number number three for me is going through quarantine with family. Back in March, Wendy's sister and brother-in-law um, came to visit. They had been living in Paris. They came back to renew their visas, and they were just doing a little bit of a tour to see family before they went back to Paris. They were with us in mid-March, and we heard on the news, "Hey, there's this thing called coronavirus. Things are shutting down." Oh shit! U.S. closes its borders. Oh shit! France closes their borders. And we didn't know this thing was going to last all year. We didn't know it was going to go into next year still the way it is right now. But in March, we're just kind of playing it by ear. We're like, oh, well, y'all are here. Might as well just stay until things open up. And then it's like April and things aren't opening up. And they didn't have a local residence in the States to stay because they hadn't planned on coming here to secure an apartment or a house. So they lived with us for 3 months. And it was really cool because prior to COVID, we saw them often enough. But me only seeing them a few times a year, or maybe once a year, once every other year, you don't really know a person when you only spend a weekend a year with them, um, good or bad. But when they live with you in a small, cozy house, you get to know people really quick. What makes them tick, what gets on their nerves, what gets on your nerves, and it taught me a new way of living with people and being comfortable with people. Because at first my anxiety went through the roof, just not being used to having four adults in a very small house. Um, but when it was time for them to leave, like once they found their own apartment, it's like, but y'all don't have to go. Y'all can stay if you want to. And and since then, like we've been seeing them so much. They only live 2 hours away. They left in June. We saw them in July twice, August, September, skipped October, November. We saw them for Christmas. They're coming back for New Year's, and in 2 weeks we're getting a cabin up in North Carolina. So it's like going through quarantine with them taught me a lot about myself. I got to know them on a deeper level, and I think it was really nice having other people to go through it with. Not saying that me and Wendy aren't sufficient enough for just one another, but having someone else there didn't put so much pressure on her to like help me with my emotions, and didn't put so much pressure on me to help her with hers. Like we were able to share the load a little bit better, having four people versus two.
Yeah, I didn't have the luxury of that, unfortunately. I did have the luxury of moving in with Brushy, and that had its pros and cons. And when I say pros and cons, I don't mean pros and cons of moving in here. I mean pros and cons of leaving home because I cook. And I cook good food, but I can't cook like Mama. And so it was. I went through it with him in a different way than what you got to do, but yeah, I'm sure you went through your pros and cons too, because you said the amazing thing of, man, I mean, y'all don't have to go, but you also said the thing of what makes them tick, what annoys them, what annoys you, and that shit that you're gonna have to deal with when you're living with new people, especially when you haven't done that in who knows how many years, you know?
Yeah, because the last time I had roommates was before I got married, so I had not had roommates since 2010, maybe early 2011. And I said my next roommate will be either a spouse or just family, but I'm not gonna live with like other people.
Right,
So
right.
I hadn't lived with that many adults in that many years. Also, you just mentioned cooking. My God, we ate some amazing food. Because you just get tired of cooking like the same meals that you know. It's like I can't go to restaurants. I'm tired of eating fucking pizza. So, dude, some of the recipes that and I give all credit to them. I started baking bread more, so like my bread recipes, I up my game on that. But like some of the different like Middle Eastern and like Southeast Asian meals that they learned, some of the Mexican and like South American dishes that we had. My God, we ate such good food.
Hell yeah.
All right, man,
Hell
give us
yeah.
your number three.
Number three is also thanks to my laptop. I started recording, and it also has to go back to where you said you want to release a little project, whether it's an EP, instrumental, whatever it is you got in the works. I started recording again, and I hadn't. I would record at a homie's house. I'd go to Mateo's house and lay down a track or lay down a track here, but I hadn't had my own thing where I could record. I'm 30. I 25, 24. I was probably 24 last time I was recording on a regular basis, and it's been fucking amazing. Just getting shit off my chest. That's the thing I like most about music is I'll tell someone in a heartbeat. I may not be the best, I may not be your favorite, but you can trust me that anything you hear ain't bullshit. It's the truth. It's either what I've been through or what I've seen someone else go through. So I might be telling the story in my perspective, and it's like, Nate, you been through that? Nah, but oh shit, I didn't put my shit. Oh shit, I didn't put my shit on vibrate at all. Um, but Nate, you been through that? No, but my homie went through it, and I'm just saying it in my. It sounds like it's coming from me because I said I me instead of him, but nah, like it allows me to get shit off my chest. Rather, it's personally what I've been through, what I've seen someone else go through, rather that's a fucking amazing moment or rather that's fucking a struggle that they've been through. So recording definitely came from quarantine. It was the same thing of getting other people's energy and being like, damn, they're really doing this because they're bored. Well, fuck, I ain't bored, but let me do it too. So sneaker reselling and recording both came from quarantine, and out of quarantine, I got a laptop. So without a laptop, I wouldn't be able to be as good as sneaker reselling, and without a laptop, I wouldn't be able to record at all. So, yeah, man, doing music again is fucking amazing. Especially since Dead Blow fucking whatever happened to us. Um, we just got an offer for a 5 day run up to Chicago and a couple of other places. Hopefully, we're able to do it. But since we were in limbo recording music, it really helped out a lot.
Yeah, my number two is seeing family for the holidays. When all this happened, we have our grandmother who turned 77 back in October. Our dad who's not up in age, but with all the shit he's been through with his health over the past what, 9 years. No, what year? 19? 2001? Fucking
Yeah,
19.
19, dog.
Yeah, I forgot to put the one in front of that. Like,
Hey, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
where are you going?
All right, keep going.
I was about to say, if this motherfucker's about to go piss, we got two more numbers.
No,
Hold it for two numbers.
I had to get my vape juice, man. My shit is burnt as fuck.
Gotcha. But a father who has a compromised immune system that we were just kind of fearful about having people around him. Um, I didn't know if I'd see our side of the family. Didn't know if we'd see Wendy's side of the family. Didn't get to see very many friends this year. Hopefully that changes next year. But getting to see loved ones during the holidays, man. Coming back to Georgia briefly to see all y'all, having a lot of fun. Um, was amazing. Getting to see Wendy's parents and siblings during the holidays, amazing. We had our godson along with his two parents because he's three, so he doesn't drive. So they came out and hung out with us for a long weekend. Was a lot of fun, and not expecting to be able to do those things with how bleak it was looking like midsummer. Getting the opportunity to do it and do it healthily and responsibly um, meant a lot. Because family's everything. So getting to see family in person was amazing.
Well, I'm going to do that for my number one, but for my number two, I think it was probably about your number four. Is this podcast? You've already went through it, so I'm not gonna go through it again. But just me staying on your ass, like every phone call we had, whether it's at the beginning, middle, or end. So are we gonna do this podcast or not, bro? And the fact that we finally did it and we have a dedication to it, and something that wasn't mentioned when you put it, whatever number you put it at, was we both had a tendency to go really headstrong into shit and then let it fade out, and we get burnt out too quick. So, you know, that we both have acknowledged that about ourselves, it's nice to know, like, if we ever add something or want to do something extra, one of us can say, hey, we can try this out. We can try doing two podcasts in one day and see how that feels. But if it feels like it's too much, let's not do it. It would be amazing to fit these people into a nice schedule so we don't have to schedule them a month out. And it'd also be nice to get our episode numbers up faster. But if we realize that that's gonna affect us, and it's like, damn, I kind of didn't like that, but we keep doing it anyways. No, that if that's what's gonna burn us out, one of us has to say something, and we're both aware of that. So this podcast has been huge. Like, hey, by the way, right before you go to your number one, I our goal was to hit 1,000 before the new year. We're not 100% there, but we're only two off. We are only two off.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll make it.
Hey man, we got this shit, man. We got a whole another 24 hours. We got 25 hours. We're gonna get there, man.
So
That's crazy.
when we hit 1,000, are we gonna do a big marathon podcast and do 1,000 beers before we sign off?
We can do 1,000 hours. See who goes to sleep first, but I ain't doing 1,000 beers.
1,000 hours? Do you know how many fucking days it is?
Hey, who's gonna go to sleep first? Because once that person goes to sleep at like 43 hours, then it's over with.
Yeah, I like you, but I ain't trying to talk to you for 43 hours on a weekend.
I feel you. Drum roll. What's number one?
So my number one is my wife. Being able to spend more time with her, and more quality time. Because I mean, we've been together for 10 years, married for 8. Things have a tendency to just become patterns and routines.
Mundane.
I wouldn't really say necessarily mundane, because I think life is mundane. Because we do the same, we have patterns. Like we work 40 hours a week, then we try to have fun on the weekends. So
This
I
isn't
think
gonna
life
make
is.
this isn't gonna make sense to anyone else, but that's why I put so many games into my shit, man. So it's not as mundane, even though that makes it become mundane. But I'm still doing shit. Like,
Yeah, I mean, we have very similar patterns that have a 7-day cycle. So I think life is just mundane. So I wouldn't say mundane necessarily, but it just becomes very um, repetitive. Um, but during this time, I think we've both become more reflective of who we are, who we want to be, paying more attention to one another in a way that we haven't in a long time, maybe even ever. Because we both feel like right now we're at a spot where this is the best it's ever been. And I think COVID caused everybody, but us in particular, to look at ourselves in a different way and say, who am I really? Who's this person that I'm living with? And I think that's been very, very beneficial to us. And having that support and care from her has made me a better person. Um, yeah, it's just been amazing. Love it. So, Wendy, if you watch this episode, thank you. If you don't watch this episode, I'll tell you thank you when I see you tomorrow.
and I'm kind of glad that you put this as your number 10, but it's my number one. But as my number one, once you put as your number 10, I'm like, damn, my number one sounds corny as fuck. But not taking things for granted. Like, and I feel like as humans, we fuck up so much because we have these points in our life where something crazy happens out of the blue, and we're like, oh, I don't need to take shit for granted. And then fucking months down the road, we forget that we don't need to take it for granted. But I feel like this is one that's kind of, I hope it's going to stick in me. I hope it sticks in more people as well, but definitely in me, I hope it sticks because when COVID happened, no one knew what the fuck was going on, and no one knew in December or going into January into 2021 that it was still gonna be this fucked up, and the numbers are gonna be rising, and people we just didn't fucking know, man. And I had a dream. I'll call it a nightmare. I had a fucking nightmare where I'm just looking at the sky, and all of these fucking red lights come down, and it's like fucking lasers, and they're just sitting there, and I don't know what they were, but I knew at any moment they could fuck up everything that ever existed. But I was still going. I just had this insight that I was going to live through it. And that's kind of how COVID is. It's like we just had this invisible monster that is just coming through and fucking shit up, and we have still been blessed enough to live through it. But I was like, that dream also woke me up and was like, damn, I'm still taking things for granted, because what's the chances of fucking whatever it was, UFOs, whatever it was, it's these fucking red beams coming out of the sky and fucking shit up, but I still have to be here on Earth? What's the chances of that happening? Okay, what's the chances of this invisible monster that comes through and fucking destroys shit and knocks shit down? What's the chances of that happening? It's the same fucking chance. So it just in being with family like for Momo's birthday, just looking like I'm not a Christmas person. I'm not a holiday person. But that's one thing I always look forward to is I get to see my family from out of state. We get to chill, drink, have a good time, laugh. Everyone's cutting up. And then that was taken away. I never thought in my head that this might be taken away one day. The only time I've thought about that is when Momo dies. Okay, this might be taken away because she's the glue to the family. But she's still alive. She's still kicking. She's still good. But it was taken away, and she's still alive, still kicking, still good. And it's like, bruh, I never saw that shit coming. So, yeah, shit like that. Shit like that just made me, take a step back. And I think it made everyone take a step back and was like, damn, we're spoiled as fuck, especially in America. Let's not take this shit for granted.
Yeah, I don't think it's corny that that's your number one. That's my number 10. Because for me, the way I numbered things was my new perspective of not taking things for granted calls me to think about all these other things in a different way. The way you did it and numbered things, correct me if I'm wrong, but you did all these other things that were powerful to you, and then you're like, oh shit, I like these things. I should not take them for granted. So we did the same thing, just in opposite order. And I think it's cool that
100%.
it bookended it.
Right.
I think that's very interesting.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. So thanks for doing this interesting episode. It's different from what we've done in the past. We haven't done anything with a theme yet.
And there's gonna be more on the way, because we talked about this in private. You've made it this far. So please like, if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe, comment, because that fucks with the YouTube algorithm. So even if you just comment nice, who gives a fuck? We don't give a fuck. But it would be greatly appreciated if you did it, so we do give a fuck in that manner. We just don't give a fuck what you comment. But you made it this far. Like, comment, subscribe, and if you just get a little tingle in your
Tingle.
little uh, whatever, you get a little tingle wherever
Yeah.
the ting.
Scratch fever.
If you get the Ted Nugent, go on and make your own. Maybe it doesn't have to be as long as ours. Ours was not supposed to be this long. I don't know why it took this long, but we like to talk.
I
That's why
told
we,
you. I was like, if we do 10 apiece, this bitch is gonna be long.
bruh. That's why we have a podcast because we like to talk. And
Hey, man, I think it's a good thing. Um, I've been under a lot of duress recently, just being on the road. I hate fucking being in a hotel room. So you people that travel for employment, I don't wear hats, but if I did, it would be off to you because I don't see how you do this being away from your families, um, especially during holidays. Like I would much rather be at home.
nah, bruh. I would love nothing more than to be in your position. And maybe it's because I don't have a wife, 2 dogs, 10 chickens, 3 hens, and a fly on the wall that I get to talk to when I get home. But I would love to travel for work. Like I would love that shit.
Dude, I want to wrap it up because we wanted it to be a very concise podcast. But you said that fly on the wall that you can talk to and shit. So my wife is definitely afraid of spiders. I hate roaches. I can't kill them. She kills them for me. She hates spiders. If I hear her scream, I know what it is. Like if somebody breaks through the window and tries to attack her, she's gonna fuck them up. If she sees a spider that's as big as my pinky, she's screaming and running. But my second week here in the hotel, I was just kind of like in my head, and I was actually taking a shower, and I look up and I see a little spider, and I see him. I say, you know what? And I say this out loud. I'm talking to a spider. I'm like, I'm not gonna hurt you. I was like, long as you don't touch me, I'm not gonna kill you. I was like, you can be my friend for the week. And I didn't see him all week. And the day I was checking out, I was brushing my teeth, and I saw this little spider carcass like up by the mirror. And I'm like,
He
oh.
died.
I was like, my friend died. But Wendy was
Damn.
telling me the spider most likely didn't die. He probably he or
He shedded
he
his skin.
yeah just shed its skin. Um, so my friend probably didn't die; it just got bigger, which is kind of freaky.
I have a spider. Damn, that's a song. Yep. I just came up with a song idea. I have a spider that lives in my bathroom, and he's out of the way. Every time I take a shower, he freaks out because he gets a little spray on him. But yeah, I have a spider that lives in my bathroom. And I don't fuck with him. But if it was a roach, hell no. That bitch is dying somehow. Maybe not by my hands, but it's dying.
All right, motherfucker, stay black.
Don't be wet.
Drink agua.
And fix your fucking posture.
Signing off, motherfuckers.
Wait. Sayonara. Why do I speak Japanese like a fucking Hispanic?
To me, when you speak Japanese, and don't take this wrong, but you sound like a country white dude trying to have a Spanish accent.
I taught this chick how to say Ohio gozaimasu, and she said it in the most sexy Japanese accent. She was like, "Oh, is it like this? Ohio gozaimasu," and I was like, "Holy shit, you said it much better than I did, and I've fucking been practicing this shit." And when I say, I'm like, "Ohio gozaimasu," it's like fucking Spanish. I don't know how. But like you said, off camera, and we're about to end it. But like you said, like as long as you speak it and they can tell that you're trying and they understand you, even though if you say it funny, they might make fun of them, be like, "Oh man, country boy saying Ohio gozaimasu." They're still gonna fuck with it. Like, yeah, man, he learned our language. He's here. He respects our culture.
Yeah, people like effort.
All right, brother.
All right, bro. Love you. Signing off.
Are we going to sleep?
I don't give a fuck what you do.
But I'm saying, are we gonna keep talking after this, or are we signing off? Signing off. You
We can
can
go for
hit.
a second.
I was about to say you can end the recording.
I'm trying to figure out how.
Bruh, I need to be the host, man, because you be having us just looking there like,
Man, you can cut the end of it off.
is he gonna end it?
There we go.
You sure it's still recording?
It's in a different place on my phone than it is on my laptop.